All right.
You all set?
I would ask that if you are a member of the audience, if you could mute yourself, please. Thank you. All right.
We're good?
We're as good as we're going to get.
Yeah, perfect. Good evening, folks. We're going to call a meeting here to order here at 1 Academy Street on Tuesday, February 2nd at 7 p.m. First order on the agenda is pledge allegiance, please. Honest. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda review. Do you have executive session for this on here?
We could have it.
Yeah, just have it, let's see.
Yep.
I also need to add executive session for legal. I don't know if that needs to be a separate thing.
No, it's on there, legal for executive session.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, two legal things, yeah. Bo, you got anything to add to agenda review?
No, thank you.
You all set? Okay. Ed, anything? No, thank you. David?
Yeah, under any other business,
Yeah.
I'd like to table the review of the slideshow. The color prints I was going to show didn't turn out well because I'm running low on black toner. And replace
Where is
that
it, David?
9,
No.
9/8.
Yeah, that's why.
So replace that with requests from Swanton Today show.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Mark, anything?
No.
Elizabeth, anything?
Oh, I thought you skipped me.
We're getting there.
Just the leader documents that we mentioned before the.
Okay, you just do that under your
Yep.
economic development?
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Oh, can I hear a motion to approve the January 19th minutes from the regular meeting?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Credit for I.
Nicole?
Nicole for I.
Okay, thank you.
Aye.
Public comment. Anybody, got anything they want to express on comment about what's on the agenda?
Nobody waiting?
Nobody.
They're having a hard time.
And let's make sure to give an extra minute for people to unmute themselves, because I know last time there was an issue that somebody didn't have enough time to.
Got public comment again at the end too, so we missed somebody to come back to it.
They are having a hard time hearing you.
Hard time hearing me?
Hearing it just apparently in general.
We'll speak up. Yeah.
Mass don't help. Okay, I'm gonna move on to law enforcement. Chief Stell, report.
Hi there, everybody. So I emailed off yesterday to all the select board members the monthly stats. I'll just quickly review those for you. There was 117 calls for service. We issued 22 motor vehicle warnings, 5 traffic tickets, for a total fine amount of $638. Now doing a breakdown of that, when I look at the types of calls that we did for service, we spent 48 hours of patrol time for the month of January based on our contract. We spent 163 hours on responding to calls and on scene for those calls, which left 85 hours for patrol. Then we did 6.75 hours of time on traffic stops, which left us with 78.25 hours for randomized patrols in the town for the month of January.
questions? Chief?
I got nothing for the chief.
No?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I got, chief, is what's the status on these days? Are we allowing, snowmobiles and four-wheelers on the rail trail?
I don't know what the contract is with VASA for snowmobiles on the rail trail. I know the section from the village line down to the museum, snow machines and four-wheelers have not been allowed on there. It's actually kind of blocked off, so it's difficult for them to get around on that section. The other section, I am not sure whether they're allowed or not.
The reason I asked you was I got a text today from a concerned, citizen that lives on, Pratt Street that says that the four-wheelers and snowmobiles are using our rail trail.
What do you mean?
And my understanding is that the sign says no motorized vehicles on there.
On the red path.
On
The red path,
Yeah,
correct, the
yeah,
paved
that's
part,
correct.
yeah.
Motorized are allowed.
I take it, yeah, I'm talking about on a record walk.
What I would encourage you, Ed, is when they call, have them call the police department so that we can address it immediately to see if we can catch them. Obviously, if they're, it's kind of difficult just because, you know, getting on that trail and stopping somebody on those vehicles, but it's not difficult sometimes for us to identify who they are, and that section is definitely not allowed for snow machines or ATVs.
I didn't think it was, but I knew I was gonna be talking to you tonight, so I wanted to make sure I was right. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right. Anybody else for the chief? Oh, Heather, you want
I
something?
want to say I appreciate you and your crew, and I saw that there was some celebrating to be done. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that tonight.
Sure, I can. So at our last trustees meeting, one of our officers, Kyle Gagne, we promoted him to corporal, which is one of our lower supervisory positions within the department. He's been with us for going on 4 years, and we just needed that extra little help on the street so that he had some supervisory roles to help with our younger officers that we have, so that the chain of command and the authority level is there, so that they know who to respond to and who's in charge for shifts. So that went well. It was a surprise to him. We had discussed it management wise, that it was the right thing to do for our agency, and we did that at our last trustees meeting.
Thank you. And he's also the one that manages our K9 unit.
Yes, he's our K9 officer. He manages, Scout is the K9, who is, for those that don't know, is certified in tracking and search and rescue, along with drug detection.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Move on to the health officer report.
So for the health officer for the month of January, I just continued working on one of the cases that we had discussed about at our last meeting, which was 9 Country Acres. Right now I have 3 people that are social workers with NCSS in the hospital working on that. So hopefully we're going to have a resolution, because those are underlying issues that are causing that problem there. And that person's now currently getting some help, so hopefully that will solve all of our issues, but it's going to take some time. And one of the things that I did was, obviously working with those counselors, said, you know, you have some time, because it's a much cheaper and much easier route to go, allowing them to work with that individual than us taking any kind of legal action.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep. Okay. Anything else, chief?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Old Town Business. BHP Lake Street MQ scoping study update.
That's me.
Okay, You're gonna make it quick, right?
Yeah, pull my mask down for a second. This is the grant, feasibility grant for Lake Street and McClung Shore that we're working on. And the next meeting of the small team that I put together as a project manager will meet on March 4th to go over the public presentation that's going to be made on March 8th. So that'll be advertised, so people who, the public one will be advertised so that anyone who wants to zoom into it can participate. And that's it.
Super.
We did, if I may add that,
Sure.
we did forward the speed studies that were done on the farm and the earlier in the week.
Oh,
last
okay.
week. So they can
Okay.
put that in there.
All right, good.
B, grant policies and approvals for signature.
That's me.
That's you. Yep.
Okay, so as part of the leader evaporator grant application process, we have to have in place, we have to show that the select board has adopted policies and financial policies and procedures. These policies and procedures are not necessarily related to leader. They're just general, like how they handle cash and cash policies, whenever I'm wrong. How we handle cash receipts, cash disbursements, those kind of property taxes are in here. We could not find a record that these had been adopted at any point. They originated from memos that came from the auditors, so the auditors actually policy.
Yeah.
There are several of them that we're going to ask you to sign separately, and then if you could adopt them tonight.
Elizabeth, can you name each one, and then someone can make a motion to adopt them?
And adopt them separately. I mean, together.
They can do them all together.
So it is the financial close and reporting policy on how they do reconciliation. The cash receipt policy is how they receive cash payments. The cash disbursement and expenses policy, how they disperse cash. The property taxes policy, how they report and receive and report taxes.
Mhm.
And payroll policy, how they pay town employees.
Okay.
So those are the five. If I remember them.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say, I'll
I'll make a
entertain
motion to accept these policies dated February 2nd, 2021.
And
I'll
we'll-
second.
and
Heather,
we're-
Heather seconds.
We're referring to all the policies that was on.
Correct.
Yeah. Heather, you say you seconded that? Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Nicole
Aye,
Brown.
Heather.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
So if you.
No.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's on.
Yeah.
And the other thing, because we have to do a roll call, since we have two on Zoom.
They said aye.
I know, but do we typically?
Do a roll call.
Oh, we can do roll call. Yeah. All right. Heather?
Well, I mean, you don't have them going.
Aye.
Oh. Nicole?
Aye.
Ed? Aye. 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 Okay.
And then there's nothing. And that's it for that one.
All five with comment. Yeah. Alright. Is there anything else on that, Elizabeth, you want?
And no, we'll do leader.
Okay, yep. Yeah.
Thank you. You'll need lots of ink, because I have other stuff for you to sign.
Great. Your
Yeah.
stamp,
I got one.
notarized stamp.
I just wanna lick my fingers and take these papers out. No, we're all gonna sign this one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is the original. Heather, Nicole, you guys are stopping tomorrow and sign that. I'm sure we'll have other people to sign, but I'm done. Next up is Alley Drive, the septic request discussion. It's on page 14. Okay, I already read those.
Is that in regard to my question?
Yeah. I think there's a few on there. Where's the? Here it is here. We have a few on here for Alley Drive discussion.
Yes, Albert St. Amand, I'm here.
Okay.
Give you, to go back a bit, last summer, I think we had about 4 meetings, which Joel Clark was the road commissioner at the time.
Yep.
And what we were attempting to do was to finish the final pavement on Alley Drive to become accepted by the town. And we also talked about the sewer. The sewer they declined to cover right from the start. But they did say that, one, if we had core sampling done, just to show that we had the proper fabric, the proper depth of stone, and also the first layer of the paving, which was 2 inches, that we could then proceed to the next step, which was what the town expected us to do. They wanted us to raise the sidewalk, which was opposite what we were told originally when we first started the development. They wanted it down below the curb. We were asked to raise it, and we did. There was a drain issue as we came in, and some of that was because of the settling that had occurred since this started, the infrastructure was started in 2006. And so after it was confirmed that we had done the base coat of the roadway properly, they said what we would want is in the sidewalk raised an extra 2 inches, and we went about and got a contract and had it done in October. Mr. Clark, I know his term was up at the end of September, but I asked him who was going to take over. He said, well, they hadn't picked anybody at the time, but said he would be coming by and checking when the work was being done. On December 21st, I got an email from the property manager, Ms. Carrie Duprat, that the road was not accepted. And so I called the town administrator, Mr. Descavaz, and he mentioned a few items which he said it was just not up to the town standards. And I said, well, we were told specifically what we had to do, and it was confirmed that it was done. And I spoke to Mr. Clark. I asked him, he said, well, he was disappointed. He thought that we had agreed that the town would in fact take it over if we had done what was requested. And so, let me check my notes here. He said that there was some concern from the board about the additional cost of plowing and future maintenance. But I thought that was why we had met back in the summer to say, all right, we're going to bring this up to the standards that you want. We spent an additional 25 to 30,000, the exact number I don't have, but it's in that range, to get it to the level that you wanted, changing the drainage, fixing the sidewalk, and then we followed through with the paving. And then he said that Mr. Clark said he had driven by in the past couple of weeks and he felt that the paving and the sidewalks were done properly. And he thought that it was agreed that the project was going to be accepted once we had done these items. Now, I asked the town administrator, Mr. Descovage, you know, did they have a road commissioner at that point? And I was told that it was James Gilmet who was taking care of it. I'm not sure if he was considered the road commissioner or that was just his responsibility. So I did call him again on that same day, and I was told by him that that there was a water puddle approximately 10 feet from the entrance. I totally agree. I've seen it. I've been there after a very wet snowstorm, and that will be repaired. I was then told that the manholes were 2 inches above the pavement. They in fact were before the paving was done because we had to put 2 inches more of paving. And the last one was that he said there was an uneven amount of pavement. And I asked him if he did some coring, and he said, no, we could tell from the edges. Now, I don't know how you could tell from the edges. I mean, if we had done that, we wouldn't have had to do the coring in the first place. And so I don't understand why things have changed. I mean, we did what you expected. And other than that one area that does bring some water in by the entrance, that will be fixed. But I don't know what more we can do to satisfy the town, especially after the agreement was that if we did these procedures, that they would be accepted.
I'll chime in there. I'm the chair and the road commissioner. And I did speak to you about the condition of the road. The two biggest concerns were the water puddle you just talked about at the entrance. Of course, that was broke up originally in there, so that was obviously a problem area. So it's so low and the water sitting in there creates a huge problem. And then as you drive in on the left, I can't tell you exactly which one it is, but there's a manhole that sticks up above the asphalt, probably estimated 3 inches. Those are the two biggest concerns we have, because that if the plow hits that, it's going to destroy it. I don't know why they didn't bring that asphalt up to the top of that when they paved that. They left that manhole sticking up. Looks like to me they kind of just ramped the asphalt up around it when I looked at it. Those two things would have to be corrected.
The manhole that you're talking about, if I may interject here, I don't know if that was into the original road. Now, keep in mind that I forget exactly what the road width was. It's 20 feet, 22 feet. I don't have the plan in front of me. But I don't believe that was on the roadway. That was off the roadway.
Right in the asphalt, right in the road. Yeah. This is before you were on that first bend, I believe it was right there on the left-hand side. It's inside it's right in the roadway. I mean, it's off the side, but it's still, I mean, it's there, we got a plaque.
I would agree. If it's up above the roadway, obviously that has to be fixed. That's right there. I did see a manhole, but I was level with the pavement. I even have a photograph of it. I don't know where this one is. And certainly if there is one there, it would be repaired, I assure you.
Yeah. No,
are those the only two issues?
Those are the only two issues I had. The major concern was that the water setting in there in the beginning and that manhole. I didn't see any other manholes that were sticking up. That was the only one that was pretty bad.
Okay, may I ask you again, where did you say that was?
It was in on the left-hand side as you start in. I almost think it was either right in the first curve or it was just before it.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look to see exactly which one it
All
is.
right.
I should have took a picture of it, but I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are the only two concerns we have that have to be fixed.
But am I of the understanding if we fix those two items, that dip as you come in and that area by the manhole, that you in fact would accept the roadway?
David wants to say something. What do you want to add, David?
Even if the board gives a tentative agreement to accepting the road, there's a formal process the board has to go through in order to officially accept it. And that involves getting reports such as the core reports. A survey is required, but in this case, I think because it's a new development, the state V-Trans would accept the plan that was submitted for that development because it's all surveyed out. And the board as a whole would have to go out at some point and do a site visit to confirm that everything is done the way they would like to see it. The proper depth of asphalt and the top coat and all of that would be examined. And the other issues that James mentioned would be looked at. After that site visit, they would have a public hearing on whether or not to accept it. And that's when it becomes a formal acceptance. Right now, it's not a formal acceptance, it's a tentative. And once all that is done, that is submitted on paperwork that V-Trans provides. It goes to their right-of-way department, and then they examine it. And if everything is good with them, they'll approve that, and they'll and give it a road. Well, if it were a town road, they would give it a road number, a town highway number, in other words, so that it would then become an official town highway, and it would have its own number. And the distance of it would be added to the credit that the town gets every year for the number of mileage that's used to figure how much paving grant money the V-Trans will give the town each year. So there's more to it than just having the board say it looks good and we'll accept it. There's a very formal process that has to be gone through in order for that to be accomplished. So it's not something that can happen overnight. It's going to take some time, and the board may want to wait until springtime to see how it holds up over the winter. The last one that was accepted a few years ago was in place for like 4 or 5 years before they requested the board to accept it. It was in perfect condition. They had all the right engineering reports ready, and the board went out, looked at the site. The ditching was good, culverts were good, and so the board held the public hearing after that site visit and then voted to accept that road. And then the paperwork went down to the state afterwards, and they assigned a town highway number for that. So that's the whole formal process that someone has to go through in order to get a private road accepted as a town highway.
Okay. Well, thank you for hearing us, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, I would say probably.
I just have a question. This is Laura. I'm the HOA president.
Yes.
I believe that the spot that you're talking about on the road is in front of my house. I'm at number 3.
Okay.
And so I just want to clarify. I want to see if you're talking about the drainage or if you're talking about a manhole that's sticking out. Because at one point there was a manhole that was sticking out about 6 inches up the road from me. You can say everything is on the left-hand side, but if you're going up the road, if you're coming in the driveway, everything is going to be on the left-hand side. So it could be any one of 6 or 8 of them that are out on the road. But if you're referring to the drainage ditch that is in front of my house, we joked around about it and called it Alley Pond because the kids like to ride their bikes through it when it rained. Yeah. And they wound up taking the grate out. Come to find out, it was inverted. It was put in incorrectly. They took it out. They had to have a new one repaired. They had to have a new one made.
Yeah,
we're not worried about
storm drain. It's just that manhole that is sticking up. So, okay. All right. Oh, lost her.
It has been repaired.
Okay.
And the only reason why I know is because if you were coming whipping through there, you would take your bottom off of your car. You don't do that now. Yeah. So that has been repaired.
Okay. Yeah, I know the manhole that I'm talking about. I just saw a month or so ago. So, but
spring and take a look.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Mr. Salt. What's his name?
Because I mean, our plowing people had even made the comment that it was much nicer to plow, and they didn't have to worry about taking the plow off when they came through to plow. Okay. So I know it's been repaired, and I mean, I watched them do it when they were here in October. So
Okay, thank
it
you.
definitely has been. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Al, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why don't you get with us in like April when the snow melts and we can go out and look at it again, and we'll look at the pond, and we'll make sure we're on the same page with the manhole that's sticking up,
That's fair.
and we'll come up with a plan.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You have a good night.
Good night.
We make sure that, David, we have some kind of checklist in place that we don't miss something. I think this is something we probably didn't explain the first time.
Yeah.
around. We
Yeah.
we need a little more. Okay.
Okay.
All we can do.
Have a good night, Al.
Good night.
Thank you.
But feel free to stay if you want to see the whole meeting. You don't need to rush out. You're welcome to stay.
Okay, D, request for span for signboards, 16. Who do we have on for that?
Gary Mann's in here too.
Yep.
Hear me?
Here's somebody.
Priscilla Cannell?
Good to see you.
Okay. Hi there. Thank you for getting us on the agenda there. I know there was a little hiccup, so thanks.
Thank you for
No
coming
problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's 5 of us here, myself, George, my husband, and I think is Joanne here with us?
Yeah.
Joanne, Michelle, and Janet.
Welcome.
So we are the SPAN, the Swanton Public Arts Network, and we wanted to formally introduce ourselves because you may have heard of us and heard that we are trying to get the art boards reinstalled from after last year and how things went. We also want you to know that we are really looking at being a group for public art in Swanton in general. So there's this is the first part and project that we're trying to work on because we know this is important for the healing of the town and the village, and that we feel very strongly that the art boards come back to our town. So many people love them, and we feel very strongly that they come as soon as possible at this point. So this group has worked very hard at putting together documents, guidelines, an MOU that will help guide how this is received from the artists, from the town, from the select board and the village trustees. And we are hoping that you will join us in this and, give us, whatever you want to share with us to help this be a successful project. So I'm open to hearing from other SPAN members or hearing from you on some questions you might have. And I guess we want to know if you are interested and you would like to see those documents. The other thing that I would just like to say is we've been meeting with the village trustees, small groups, and we've been to a couple meetings, and with Chief Sell, going over the documents, trying to fine tune them. And I think we all feel we're ready to share this and maybe, join in together, town, village, us. So that's what I'd like to say.
What's that?
I said that's about what I'd like to say right now.
Where are you anticipating putting the signboards if they are allowed to be put back up?
I think we're open to hearing. I know our goal right now is to try to just get 1 or 2 up to start and then continue on for spaces and places that we feel comfortable with, you feel comfortable with. And I see Michelle would like to say something on that.
Dan, I just want to answer that question more broadly, is that our ask is for your partnership in public art in general. A component of that would also be establishing a program And a foundation for us to have discussions in the future, could be the immediate future, about art boards and where those possible locations would be. And that would be a discussion that would be collaborative with whatever party is involved. If it's a town property, then we would be working with the select board. If it's village property, then we would be working with the village. But our hope is that it's a joint partnership with the village, town, and SPAN for public art in general. That way, if you ever, or any community member who wants to engage in public art, for example, the Swanton Enhancement Project has ideas about murals. We could coordinate that, since we hopefully would already have an established relationship with you. And then it would ease that process so that we would already have addressed certain things like, you know, agreements, liabilities, insurance, a way for us to have already an established relationship and be on the agenda with you in the future. So I'd like it not to be a broad or a narrow discussion or thought process just about the art boards, but a mechanism so that we have a partnership in place for public art in general. And then when it comes time, you know, at the same time, we can talk about art boards and their locations. Maybe we wouldn't have a location that's specific to the town immediately. Maybe it would be in 6 months, maybe it would be next year. We just want to have that mechanism in place and to do it once as a one Swanton effort, not just us with the town or us with the village. Does that make it more clear?
Yep.
So our ask is really, what is select board open to public art? Yes or no? If no, then we would have no discussion, right? And then that would be unfortunate. If yes, then we would hope that you would want to partner with us and get in on the discussion so that with the village, we're already trying to craft out that arrangement, those agreements and the terms under which we would have such conversations, and the terms under which each program that we initiate would be administered. In this case, we have already developed a program for the art boards. We could, once we're, you know, up and running, be looking at murals, could be sculptures, it could be, you know, other types of art, and we would develop those programs as we go. I hope that makes it more clear.
Yep, it does. Now, you say you have a plan and what will be put on these boards and that type of stuff. You have documentation, that someone started to say.
I think what he's asking is,
MOU.
are there guidelines to
Yes.
protect it from happening the way it did?
Yes.
Can you
And it might be
elaborate?
Go ahead, Heather.
Can you elaborate on the guidelines that you have put in place to protect?
I was asking that question, Heather. But
Oh, you
go
were?
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were you asking, James?
I was asking what they have for documentation, and they said something about an MOU.
Okay, who's responsible if things get broken?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
That's
I
all
think
was asking.
there's going to be a lot of questions that we can't possibly take up your time. You wouldn't want us to take up your time. We've spent
Yeah.
5 months working together to develop a base MOU that you'll probably want to communicate with the attorneys.
That's what yeah.
We've also developed a guideline program that's specific to the art boards. It includes an agreement with the artist to participate. They wouldn't necessarily be as open and free as they were before, but they would still be open to participation under certain agreements. We've developed together, the 5 of us have worked really hard to try and figure out what are the potential stumbling blocks that put us in the situation where we were in the spring, and how to prevent some of those, including an extensive and developed grievance protocol for the community, for you know, leaders, if there is an issue, how we would address it so that it wouldn't necessarily be the responsibility of the village or town, and officials wouldn't be put in the position that they were put in the spring. So we've tried to really undertake a lot of those considerations. There's multiple documents, so I wouldn't belabor that with details now, but would hope that you'd ask us to provide those to you and would be willing to review them.
So can you provide us with those documents for us to review? That's basically what the question is. We'd like to review them, and if we need to ask our attorney to review them, then that's kind of where we need to be at, I think.
We'd love to. I mean, that would just be overwhelming if we sent this packet to you without first talking to you. You'd be like, who wants to review these 20 pages? So really, it was a courtesy to one, get you to say, yes, we would like to consider it. So thank you, and we'll get those out to you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I just want to say this, Mark. I do support the art and coming up with something, whether it be sculptures or whatever, as long as we have clear guidelines and understandings of the do's and don'ts, or getting through the roadblocks, as you said. I certainly think it could be a great thing for the community, because there's been a lot of positive up until the unfortunate incident last year that opened some eyes, I guess, but I'm in support of it.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah. And just like Mark said, I support it too, as long as the documentation is there and our eyes are crossed and our T's and T's are crossed.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, so.
Well, we'll get that out to you as soon as possible, and we assume the same process would be similar. Right now, the village has them with their attorneys to review. We'd like it to be one single document so that it's, we avoid separation of our project and activities.
Yes.
So if we could marry those up and identify what concerns you might have, we'd like to incorporate them at the same time while winter prevents us from, moving forward physically with any project. So we can handle paperwork during these winter months, I hope.
Okay.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Heather, Nicole, you want to add anything? Or we let them go?
I'm also in support of the project, and I look forward to seeing what you folks have come up with as far as guidelines. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Can we request to then get on the agenda now for next, whatever you think you need for time in the next meeting or the following one?
Well, we need to look at the documents first. The stuff you're gonna send us. Yeah, why don't we shoot for like the second meeting in March? Is that okay?
The next meeting is
Second meeting in March.
Could it be, so you're saying 6 weeks from now?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess it would be 6 weeks, yeah.
Could it be 4?
The next meeting is the informational meeting, and then we have the organizational meeting, so really it would be the second meeting in March.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not going to be discussing issues next meeting.
Okay, my only hope is that we send these documents to you. Even if we can't get on the agenda, we'd hope that we'd be able to communicate through email that they are being reviewed and maybe, in the hands of attorneys, whatever actions you need to make. I just don't want to make sure they don't fall on a table in for 6 weeks. So if we can at least
documents and we'll look at them and we'll get back to you.
I also want to mention that there are 4 positions that are open and will be filled by who knows who on the 3rd of March or whatever. And so then we're in a situation where we may potentially have new board members reviewing the paperwork for the first time. So that's
why I said the second meeting in March. That way, if things change hands, and then they can move forward then.
Thanks, James.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
And I appreciate all you guys have done on this. I know you've spent over a dozen hours trying to figure this out, and I appreciate you volunteering for the community.
Yes. Thanks, Heather.
Yep.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good night. New town business. Town report, publications, distribution schedule. That's you, David?
Yeah, and Kathy too.
Okay.
Yeah. Kathy, if you want to say something also, you can. It's scheduled to be done by February 12th, and then after that, both Elizabeth and I will drive around town, distribute them to a list of businesses in town for people to pick up. Typically, a business gets 25 copies. Some that just have more, they'll get more. And that's how people get the information, is through the distribution. It also will be published on the town's website. And Kathy, if you like, you can say something also.
I'm good. What you said, David, is the schedule, what's going to happen. Hopefully town reports will be in, we'll get them distributed. Ballots will be coming as soon as they come in. We will get them out to all the absentee requests so far. And if anyone would an absentee ballot, they can call the office and request one.
I was just gonna echo that. If anyone wants, just what you said, anyone wants an absentee ballot, call in the office and they'll send you one. They're gonna, when are we expecting those, around the 10th or something, Kathy?
They will be in by the 12th of February.
Okay.
They went to the print. They're at the printers right now. So as soon as they come, then we'll be able to mail them out to the people who requested to date.
Okay.
And also, as soon as they come in, they'll provide us with a disc that I can copy onto the town's website, so you can watch for it there. There already is a page on the website about this year's town meeting with some information, so that'll be added to that.
Okay. Anything else on that? Think we're good? CAI mapping contract.
That's
on
our
page 18.
standard annual
Annual
contract
one.
from the mapping company that does all the property tax maps for the town. The amount is the same as last year.
Same as last year.
So
All right.
what I need is just a motion for you to approve the contract and delegate me to sign that.
All right. Can I hear a motion to approve the contract for $3,500?
Make a motion that we approve that contract for $3,500.
And I'm just gonna say who it's with. It's
Nicole,
the,
second that?
Yep, gotcha.
what's the name of the company?
CAI.
Oh, okay, with CAI. All
CAI
right. Yeah.
Technologies.
Technologies. All right. Can I get a second on that?
You need to
Oh,
delegate me
sorry.
to sign
And you're gonna delegate David to sign it. And, yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say any other discussion. So.
Who updates that information on there, whether it's land changes or any of that? Is
it
that
goes through Tanya, she's linked with their technician.
Okay.
And so any changes that are made, any changes that are made on the map during the year, for example, when property sells or gets subdivided, we'll go to her. We get, when a subdivision takes place now, the surveyor has to provide a CD, and then that goes to the mapping company. And then they add that into the map. And also, if anybody notices, if they're looking at the map on the website and they notice an error somewhere, misspelled road or a property line not in the right place, they can also contact Tanya and let her know, and she'll forward that correction.
This is the same mapping company
Yeah,
that
we've
does
used it
Heidi.
for years.
It is Heidi. I find that very easy to go.
Yeah, because you can go back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When I worked in Highgate as a town administrator, we hired them then as the local company. And the good thing about this company, they have dozens of towns all over New England. They specialize in doing town property tax mapping.
Yeah.
And Dick called me at the time that I was over there and said they were looking for a new company here, and I recommended these two folks. And he hired them, and they're really great.
Yeah.
It's very easy to.
I like the layout.
Very easy to friendly. Other ones I've looked at in other towns that are different companies are really hard to find stuff on. But this one is very easy.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll
What's that?
call.
Roll call. Heather?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Liquor Control Commission, we got a liquor license to renew?
There are several.
Okay. Do you have them?
I have.
Oh, okay, all right. We gotta go with, I hear a motion to go into liquor control.
I'd make a motion that we go into liquor control. I'll second that.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Aye.
So
Aye.
Kathy's gonna.
Aye.
Nicole? Aye.
Heather, aye.
Okay, now liquor control, we have, yeah.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 5 renewals for the liquor license for 2021. It's Campbell Bay Inc., Champlain Farms, Hannaford Supermarket, Maple City Candy, and RL Valley. They're just renewals. Nobody knew, and they've had no violations in the past year. So it's just a basic renewal upon approval.
Simple enough. I hear a motion to approve those liquor licenses that Kathy just read.
I make a motion that we approve those liquor licenses to the ones that were just read.
And Elizabeth has them there for you to sign.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that, Heather.
All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Heather?
Heather,
Heather, aye.
aye. Yep.
Cole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James, aye.
Aye.
Mark, aye. You guys have it. There's sign these. All right, that's it for liquor control, right? I'll entertain a motion, go to exit liquor control and go back into our regular meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I second it.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Heather?
Aye.
I'm gonna sign these, Ed.
Nicole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James? Aye.
Aye.
And Mark, aye. Ayes have it. Yeah, just sign right, yeah, under mine, or under that one's fine, yeah.
And you ain't done signing.
No?
Why all tonight?
It's all, just might as well
Oh.
run today.
Heather and Nicole, you'll have to sign these tomorrow when you come in also. Okay, now we're in the economic development.
Okay,
Let's
so
discuss
just
this
a
stuff.
few things. You all should have gotten, and you'll see in your agenda packet, the updates for this week. I underlined the new stuff. We had the downtown scoping study had a alternatives meeting last week. There was approximately 25 people. It went, there probably will not be a roundabout. So if that's good news or bad, you decide, but, they did vote and they are still taking comments. But so what they did was they presented basically 9 alternatives. There was 3 for 3 different sections, and then you voted on them individually. So you could elect section 1 for Grand Avenue, but section 3 for Merchants Row and section 1 for First Street, and they'll combine it. It will make sense. It made sense if you were there. They're still working things up and coming up with what the final vote tally was and what it will look like, and they'll present that to the trustees as a draft in March. So that will be the next. But I really appreciate everybody who came out. I know that there's been some robust commenting on Facebook. So that, I think we had 25, and that was a really nice discussion.
Yes.
It was really well done. It was really professional, and it was great to see so many people get involved. Thank you for having that, Elizabeth.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. That's kind of the big highlight. Still working on the Better Connections grant, if you call that's the village master plan. We're working on the Mba Sidewalk Design and Construction will be a particular interest. We met briefly this morning. The update, there was really no update other than they are working on the design concept. They are on schedule. We may fall a week off of schedule because V-Trans, some of their folks have been pulled off to do some COVID related work. So instead of taking 3 weeks for them to do their review of the design, it may take 4. So we may lose a week, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that's pretty minor. If that's the worst backup we go through in this process, we'll be lucky. I did convey that the select board wanted to at least have the space left for a potential bike lane in the future. They're not designing a bike lane, but they will leave the room, as we discussed at the last meeting, I believe it was. So that project right now is moving on track. So I think that's kind of the updates that are important that I wanted to relay. I did skip over the CDBG update because that is leader. We're not quite done with leader evaporator yet.
Okay.
So let me switch folders here because I don't want to get folders confused. We have so I think everybody has signed the loan and security agreement. If you haven't, yes, that is signed. Thank you. Bear with me. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Then the employment agreement basically says that the number of jobs that are retained is 58, and this is leader jobs. This has nothing to do with the town. This is the leader will retain 58 jobs.
Yep.
And of those, 53% are being retained people of lower or middle incomes. And we had to meet that threshold at the application time, so nothing has changed. So that's what this employment agreement is saying in this. I don't believe you need to sign this one. No, David signed that one, so that one's done. Sorry. So last but not least is, we have two things to talk about. There's a grant agreement resolution that says, and you, I think, read it prior to the meeting. I didn't have this for you, Heather and Nicole, so if you can come in tomorrow or Thursday, and tomorrow would, or Thursday would be great. It basically says that the legislative body accepts and agrees to the terms and conditions of said grant agreement. So what James and I talked about beforehand was the motion would say that you approve this pending approval by the town's attorney, who has already seen the grant agreement once, but he needs to see it when it comes back from the town with the comments. So I think that's one way to get this, so we don't have to wait another 2 weeks. So that is the last piece, the very last piece. So the loan agreement stuff will go to the state tomorrow. Kathy has to sign something, but the loan agreement will go to the state tomorrow. And then the grant agreement should come back in the next, once they have the financial documents that you all signed, should come back again and they say, yeah, we're done, get the town attorney to look at them, and we're ready to go.
All right. Okay.
Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Any questions, Nicole, Heather? Okay.
Question for Kathy.
Kathy?
So,
Yes?
yeah. So as far as writing them the check, we'll wait till the next meeting to approve that?
Well, what you can do now is, because depending on when the money comes in, I believe they want the money as soon as possible when we get it.
Yeah.
So if you make a motion tonight that it's okay to give them their money prior to the next orders, I can do that. And if you don't want to do that, then we'll wait till the next orders to do it.
Do it tonight, yeah. Well, that's what I was kind of trying to move it along. So wait any longer. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we're done other than reading that one piece of paper, so. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to, so Kathy?
So basically, you want to make a motion that's going to allow me to write a check to Leader Evaporator for the amount of the grant.
Yeah.
And instead of waiting until our next orders meetings, which would be the second meeting this month, and depending on when we get everything done, it may be close to that, but it might be before that. So just a motion to put them before the next meeting.
Okay. Do we need to say the amount in that? We can't, I mean, okay.
For audit purposes, yes, I would appreciate that you would do that.
Yeah, so I'll entertain a motion to give Kathy permission to write the check for the grant for $1 million to Leader. Once it's the funds are distributed to us and we have the final paper signed, so. The grant, the loan, yeah.
I'll make that motion.
All right.
And I'll second it, Jimmy.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No, thank you.
What's that? You good?
No, we're good.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Heather?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James, aye.
Aye.
Mike, aye.
Okay, so do you want me to read the resolution?
Ayes have it. Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
So, whereas the town of Swanton has applied for funding under the the Vermont Community Development Program is provided for in 10 VSA Chapter 29 and has received an award of funds under said provisions. And whereas the Agency of Commerce and Community Development has tendered a grant agreement number of 2019 to this municipality for said funding. Now wherefore it be resolved as follows. 1, that the legislative body of this municipality accepts and agrees to the terms and conditions of said grant agreement. That Elizabeth Nance, Economic Development Coordinator, is hereby designated as the person with overall administrative responsibility for the VCDP activities related to this grant agreement, and 3, that David Juskavich, Town Administrator, who is either the Chief Executive Officer as defined by 10 VSA 683(8), or is the Town Manager, the City Manager, or the Town Administrator, hereby designated as the authorizing officer to execute the grant agreement and other such documents as may be necessary to secure these funds, past the second day of February 2021.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve that?
Yep.
Okay. I'll hear a motion to approve the grant agreement, right?
I'll make the motion.
I second it.
All right, thank you guys. Any other discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Heather?
Aye.
Cole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James? Aye. Mark? Aye. Ayes have it.
That is the last signature.
Good.
Promise.
Anything else for economic development? I think you had enough.
Yeah, we're shutting her off now.
I think that's, the only other thing I will say, and it is one sentence. Shop local for Valentine's Day.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yep, perfect.
Limited, but we can do that.
Yes.
Yep, we have 2 businesses here.
40, at least 43 of them.
Yeah.
Did Nicole and Heather sign that?
No.
Yeah, they'll sign it tomorrow.
Yeah.
One more paper to sign. Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Nicole, what time do you go to work? Yeah, you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, so I will leave it on my desk for your signature if you want to sign it on your way in tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. And Heather, you also have a Heather to sign it?
I'll catch it.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's it?
I'm done.
Okay, highway updates, I don't really have much other than we're plowing snow, so.
Boys are busy today.
Boys are busy, yeah. Yeah, everything's good, trucks are all running good, so knock on wood.
Good.
We're good. Any other necessary business?
I have a question. When we have these big snowstorms, do we like send them a pizza or something?
No.
No? Okay.
They have coffee. You can bring coffee though. They're never there long enough. They're always on the road.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They certainly put in some long hours. Today's show, you added under another necessary business.
On Monday, Richard Copperwaite from Channel 15 called me and asked if the board would be interested in starting the Swanton Today shows again. For those who don't know what they are, they invite different board members from different towns to come into their studio and then briefly, for about an hour, talk about what's going on in their towns. And he said they've already done this year with the village trustees. And typically they like to have 2 select board members show up and talk about what's going on here.
2 village people and two town will go together and do it, but I think they're doing it separately.
Yeah, to keep it smaller, right. Yeah, and he said they have separation.
What did you say the dates were he had?
Well, probably the one that would work would be a Tuesday. It could be next Tuesday. He said any Tuesday, so I'm taking him at his word. 7 p.m.
What date is that? The next 8?
Today's the second, be the 9th.
I mean the 9th, sorry. Yeah.
And then he said on Wednesdays
And
it
that's
could be
at 7.
Yeah, Wednesdays. He said they're open 4 to 5. It would. Yeah, I told him that's too early for the board. So if you want to do it,
they're going to do that at the
studio, right? So if you want to do it next Tuesday or
I could do next Tuesday.
a non-meeting Tuesday.
So
anyone else on the board?
I be interested in doing something like that as well.
I was gonna ask that maybe Elizabeth go. She
I
didn't
think
want
it'd be
to,
great. Yeah, if she went.
all the things that she has going on, I think that she
Yeah.
could put them out there if you'd be willing.
Yeah.
That's what my thought was going with.
Yeah.
It's not for me and Elizabeth, but Elizabeth, I think, can offer a lot to what's
Yeah,
going on in
She
Swanton.
does, she got
Can
a lot
you
going
take
on.
3?
What's that?
Can you take 3?
He might take 3.
Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
If 3's okay, or maybe just 2, so.
So,
Okay.
Heather, do you want to go? He takes 3?
Sure. They have a good
Okay.
dad over there.
That's it, David?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything for correspondence?
I'll call him tomorrow. Just that list of how many tons of chips they deliver
Oh, yeah.
over here. Yeah.
100 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Public comment, anybody got anything to add under public comment we missed on the way in?
I have some other necessary business, but I might grab the table for a few minutes.
We don't have it on the agenda, Heather, but
Okay, so it was supposed to be on the, I did see that one of them could be an old business. Actually, 2 could be an old business. I was wondering about the railroad light. Did that get installed?
the railroad lights, David looked into that today, and it's gonna be a springtime thing.
Right. Reggie said they haven't ordered the solar light yet. He will donate a pole from the inventory they have to use it. And he's also going to revise the estimated cost to update it. And it would have to be done, of course, after the snow.
Yeah, I think you got a cement filler for it, I think, or they're gonna put a pole in.
A pole.
Yeah.
And that would need a sonotube or something. And what was the other thing I was going to say on that? Oh, the select board would have to conduct a site visit and decide exactly where you want that over there. Yeah. So when the snow melts, it could happen.
Exactly. Yep. Anything else, Heather?
Yeah, just one more is, I don't know where this would go, so I'll just bring it up. Actually, I've got 2 more. One of them was, I'll do the easy one first, is are we going to do a tax payment online, like an e-payment? What did we decide with that? Is that something?
We can decide that later. I actually spoke to Kathy about that. There's nothing we have to do before March, town meeting day. That's something we can do afterwards.
Okay.
And then have it ready by October when we do tax time.
Okay. And so, and then the last is, one of the individuals in our community commented that they were unable to open up the agenda because it's Microsoft related. And I guess there is some block on that so that their computer will not recognize it's encrypted or something like that. And then somebody else said the same thing. A few people said that because it was Microsoft related, they can't open the agenda. And I guess I just want to make sure that we have all the different opportunities for people to access that information. So maybe just posting a photo of it, like just the photo that anybody can view on the website, perhaps, instead of having content that you have to open up.
Yep.
Or I can make a PDF file and anybody could open that.
Okay.
And I'll just say, if someone has a problem viewing something on the website, all they have to do is call David, and David can email the information or whatever they're looking for.
Right.
So what happened was I had posted the photos online and somebody said, thank you so much for posting these. I can never access them because I can't open the file on my computer. That was the first I ever heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Well, and David's the one that takes care of the website, so then again, if there's an issue with it, just contact David and he'll work with them to get them what they need. Whoop.
It's just easy
Paul,
and
you have
right
something?
in passing, but okay.
Yep.
It would be appreciated if the file was in a PDF. I also had a difficult time opening it on my home computer today. So if that change could be made, I'd appreciate it.
Yep. I just want to add, Heather, in the future, those things, when we do agenda review, let's put them on when we do agenda review. That way they're on the agenda.
No problem.
Or ahead of time, yeah. public comment one more time. You have something, Nicole?
I would just like to announce that there is a public skating rink at Swanton Recreation. We've worked very hard on putting it in, and it is now ready to be used by the public. There was a great group of MVU hockey players out there shoveling away today. So it will be there and available for people to use. We do ask mandatory masks and to respect social distancing. Some other fun things are coming up at the rec, and we would love it if you checked out our website, www.swantonrec.org. Also posted recently is a new photo competition for the month of February. We would really love to see what everybody loves about Swanton. Please check out our website, submit your photos of what you love, and we look forward to seeing what you love about Swanton. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole, I just got a question for you on the rink, because I did see the pictures, and I'm glad to see that we have it, but why was the change made to go there, not the park this year? I think the park is such a great addition with the lights.
I don't disagree, Mark. Because of some of the guidelines set forth, it was easier for us to monitor and maintain it at the rec field, and that's why we decided that it would be in our best interest to do it there this year.
Yep, no, that's fine. I was just curious. Yep, thank you.
We hope in the future to be able to do it again in the park.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one final.
No.
The Chamber of Commerce is still taking Citizen of the Year award nominations through the 12th of February. So if you know someone, the information is available on the Swanton Chamber website. So nominate away.
Good.
Hi, this is Kathy again. I got something I wanted to say on public comment because I want to do some clarity on the vote. Voting will be on March 2nd at the Village Complex from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. People will be required to wear a mask. Once again, absentee ballots are being sent out upon request only. So if someone would like to get a ballot, they need to contact us at the office and request that ballot. Just for that clarity, someone had a question. So people need to request ballots. We're not doing a mass mailing like the state did in November. You need to call and request your absentee ballot, just to clarify.
Thank you, Kathy. Perfect.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Upcoming events, February, Planning Commission canceled. Monday, February 15th, President's Day, town office operations were closed. Next select board meeting will be February 16th, 7 p.m. by public by Zoom. Includes public hearing on proposed zoning amendments. 2021 budget informational meeting will be Monday, February 22nd, 7 p.m. public by Zoom. And the Zoom information for that, where will that be? That'll be on the website, David?
The informational meeting
Yeah.
is the exact same link as every other meeting.
Okay. All right.
And one more thing on that.
Go ahead.
James, this year, the village and the town will be doing their respective informational meetings on the same night and taking turns. The village will go first. The Zoom login will be the same for both. And then when the village is finished, the town will do theirs. No.
Yeah, because we warned it that we were going to have start at 7 o'clock. So,
well, as long as you start after the warn time, you're okay.
Oh.
You can't start before.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
As long as that's clear,
Reggie set it up so that with Elizabeth so that
that's what
they'll start first and then we'll do ours.
Okay. And what was the last thing here? Next DRB meeting Thursday, February 25th, 6 p.m. by public by Zoom. Executive session. I hear a motion to go into executive session, discuss legal and real estate.
I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss legal matters.
Yep.
And real estate.
And
real estate.
You read number 1.
Yep. I move that we enter into executive session for the select board to receive confidential contract and personal information for which premature disclosure of it, the general public will clearly place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage. Roll call.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
You have a second?
Oh, sorry, I need a second on that.
I'll second Heather.
Yeah, all right. Now all in favor, we'll do roll call. Heather? Aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Aye. Ed?
Aye.
James, aye. Mark, aye. All right, ayes have it.
I move that based on our just made findings that the premature disclosure would place the select board and others at a substantial disadvantage. We enter executive session. Roll call.
All right,
Second that.
all in favor, signify by saying aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Heather, aye. Ed, aye.
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James, aye. Mark, aye. Okay, we're now in executive session at 8:17.
Okay, so-
My executive session, are these people gonna be waiting here? In
Well,
case
that's what I'm about to, no, I'm gonna put in the waiting room who needs to go in the waiting room, and then whoever needs to stay will stay. So
Yep.
if you could tell me who I need.
When we come out of executive session, we're gonna be done. So
Okay, so
the only one we need is Nicole and Heather.
Okay.
I'd like Kathy,
Oh,
Betty,
sorry.
I'd like Kathy and Betty to,
Heather, hang on 1 second. Heather, 1 second. One person at a time.
Yes, please. Okay, so who do I
What?
need to leave in the room?
We need Betty first. We'll go Betty first, and then obviously Heather and Nicole.
Okay,
Okay. And then everybody else meet up.
and Heather wants Kathy.
Oh, Heather wants got. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put everybody else.
No. Action taken, yes. You want to make the motion, Ed?
I make a motion that we accept the option to purchase the 4th Street property.
Offer.
To sell the Tyler Stanislaus for the agreed price of $100,000, for the closing being 120 days from the day of acceptance.
Yep. And a 20,000. Yep.
Which includes a $20,000 non-refundable deposit.
Yep. With the signing of the purchase and sales agreement.
And with the signing of the purchase and sales agreement.
All right. All in favor of that, signify by saying aye. Heather?
Aye.
Aye. Nicole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
Aye. James, aye. Mark? Aye. Ayes have it. Okay. And we got one more. Yep.
So Tyler, within 120 days
Mhm.
from what?
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna say you can have this if you
Okay,
want.
thank you.
You got a copy?
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, we got one more.
Okay.
So I need someone to
Who
meet.
seconded it?
Mark. Yeah, Heather.
All right, thank you, sorry.
You wanna make that motion, Mark, for Betty? Okay.
I make the motion to authorize Betty to open the estate and second edition for 33 4th Street, under the name Jeffrey Van Slut.
Yep, that's what you wanted.
I second that.
Any second here? Any other discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Heather? Nicole?
Aye.
Ed?
Aye.
James, aye. Mark? Aye. Ayes have it. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn at 8:54.
I second that motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Let's see.
aye.
Nicole? Aye.
Aye.
Ed, aye. James, aye. Mark, aye. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Don't forget to send us that email, Heather.
And
Absolutely.
tomorrow to sign, it'll be on my desk.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, Elizabeth.
Okay,
All right.
thank
Take care.
you too, bye.
There. Shut that stuff off.
Okay, so that.